Simple tips how to fix overwatered succulent plants. 1. Early intervention. Do not wait until the leaves begin to fall off from the plant before you start working on saving it. Once the plant shows the first signs of overwatering, that is the time to intervene. 2. Keep the plant away from the sun. This may sound like contradicting advice. After all, isn't the goal to get rid of excess water from the soil? And what better way to do so than by letting excess moisture evaporate? However, there is a good reason for this. The succulents are already under a lot of stress from too much water. Exposing the plants to direct sunlight will compound the problem. Place the succulents in a place where there is indirect light without subjecting them to the effects of direct sunlight. This means that the plants will still benefit from the exposure to the light without risking being burnt. 3. Air dry the roots. Remove the succulent from the container and get rid of the excess soil stuck onto the roots. Check if there are any rotten roots and remove them as well. Leave the plant on a flat surface to let the succulent roots dry for about 2 to 3 days. Once the roots are dry, replant the succulent in a container with a new potting mix. Do not water immediately after replanting. Take about an extra week or so before rewatering the plant and ensure the soil is not waterlogged. 4. Change the soil. The goal of changing the soil is to improve the drainage and rescue the overwatered succulent. You may not have to change all the soil if the succulent is planted in succulent soil. Potting mix. You can add more perlite to the soil to make it more porous and improve its drainage. If you decide to add perlite, first get rid of the topsoil in your container. This is where algae and other fungi reside. 5. Propagate your succulent. Sometimes you may find it impossible to recover your overwatered succulent plant. In this case, you can try leaf propagation. It is a difficult and tricky process. You will be replacing the dead leaves with other fresh leaves and hope that they thrive. To do so, carefully remove all the dead leaves from the plant by holding the stem in place. Pull healthy leaves from the plant carefully by performing a twisting motion that will pull off the leaf from the plant without damaging the plant. If you cut the leaves poorly, the chances of them sprouting roots diminish. Place the leaves on a paper towel in a dry place and away from direct sunlight for about a week to let the cut ends dry. After this, place them in the potting mix and spray them with water every couple of days or when you feel the soil is too dry. Once the leaves develop roots, you will have new succulents and you can transplant them into other containers as you wish. 6. Create a watering routine. Figuring out a watering routine for your succulents can be tricky. Once you have saved your overwatered succulents from dying, I'm sure you would not want to repeat the mistake. Check your soil carefully each time you want to water your succulents. Press your finger into the soil before watering. If the soil feels dry, water the plant but avoid waterlogging. Do not underwater as well. Take into consideration the climate of where you reside. If you live in a dry area, you may need to water your succulents more often than people living in humid areas. The season also matters. Succulents will demand more water during the summer season when the weather is hot than during the cooler winter months. The type of succulent you have in your home also determines your watering routine. Some demand more water than others. For instance, you will need to water ioniums more frequently than cacti.